Hey, welcome to the Social 333 podcast. I'm your host, Chris Bentley. Today, my guest is Sergio Izquierdo.
Yeah.
Izquierdo. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you finally did it.
Yes. Sergio, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you got going on.
Well, I'm Sergio Izquierdo. I'm from Guatemala. I am a contributing photographer for National Geographic with more than 50 stories. All the glory to God. And I'm currently working on different projects, like a documentary is going to be out soon about the Mayan jungle and how it's how it is becoming like destroyed.
Yeah, I watched the video. It had like 3 million views on TikTok.
Yeah, the one that you saw, it was a video that I show in TikTok to address the president of Guatemala, like directly, because it was in the last part of the filming of the documentary. And people, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening over there, so people
Sure.
can
Yeah,
realize.
yeah.
So we have the big Mayan jungle. It is between the south of Mexico, Guatemala, the north of Guatemala, and Belize. And in Guatemala, those three countries, there are also one subspecies of the scarlet macaw. So the scarlet macaw has two subspecies in the world. One is from Aramacao macao, the scientific name. It resides in Costa Rica and South America. There's a lot of them, but there's another one. It's called Aramacao cyanoptera, and it lives between Mexico, Belize, and Guatemala. And there are only 500 out of them in the wild.
Wow.
It's the brink of the extinction of the subspecies.
Mhm.
Like, so, if you normally you want to visit Guatemala, it's okay. There's no problem. You will see a lot of jungle, but like a third of the jungle is being already destroyed, like national parks.
Mm.
So there are a lot of people like invaders that come out from different parts. Some of the from Mexico, and they chop the whole jungle. And after a while, the people from the drug trafficking, they buy the land, but it's national park, right? And they make airstrips. They put cattle, whatever, and it's something like very sad. So something you have to it has to stop. So we have in places like Tikal, some people know about Tikal, the Mayan ruins and stuff like that. But there's like a vertical line of what it has been cut and what is left. And in that line is where the latest nest of the macaws are.
Mm.
And I was getting like a call from the people over there, and they told me, okay, there's invaders coming into the place of the macaws to like
Chop it down.
chop it down. And I had the opportunity to make like a flight, with a Cessna aircraft, and I see new illegal airstrips and a lot of things, and I addressed the president, and then we got like more than 3 million views, a lot of pressure, like also international, and like 2 weeks later, like 2 weeks ago, also, the army was there, and we stopped it, but we stopped it just for this year because Guatemala has only two seasons: rainy seasons and dry seasons. And in dry seasons is when the people like just burn chop and burn all the forest.
Mm. Do they get money from chopping down the wood, or is it more like just clearing the land for airstrips and
Yeah, just clearing the land for airstrips and
selling
for
the land?
illegal the cattle,
Mm.
illegal cattle. So yeah, it's also not a problem with the cattle because there's like a worm that came from Nicaragua, with the illegal transportation of cattle to the U.S. By the way. So there's like a worm that is spreading out that it begins like eating the flesh of the animals, and it reproduces like very rapidly.
Wow.
And these cattle are like just at the side of the jungle. So
Mm.
if it is this worm spreads into the
Jungle.
jungle, like a lot of animals will die, jaguars and stuff like
Mm.
that. It's something crazy.
I wanted to ask you because this was really interesting. The documentary Maya Forest in Czech. How difficult is it to shoot a documentary?
Yeah, it's very difficult. You have to have a lot of contacts of the local people in order to have access. That's was something like very very important. Also, you have to know the terrain, and you have to film like different activities during the day and try to everything like appear like be in the same like week or something, but like we have been also in critical situations. Like for example, I was like filming all by a plane, how everything was destroyed, and then we saw like this airstrip like near in the border with Mexico with a Learjet, like a big one, in the middle of the jungle.
Mm.
And I told the pilot like, yes, go down as low as possible,
Just shoot it.
and they shot at us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to shoot. I was shooting with the camera, and
Yeah,
they
and
were
they're
shooting with
shooting
the
back.
shotgun.
Yeah,
Thank God nothing happened,
that's good.
and but the documentary is going to be really great.
Yeah, I shoot a lot of video, and I think the B-roll is probably the most time consuming. Is just getting, like you said, like, you'll shoot and it'll be part of the documentary, but just getting, like, let's say the birds, or just getting some forest, or just, and it could be 2 or 3 seconds of just forest or birds or a jaguar or whatever it is just coming
Yeah,
through, and it could take hours, as
days, even
yeah,
days. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, just for me, I shoot maybe like a 2 or 3 minute video, and
Uh-huh.
it took me all day just for just a little bit of footage just for that 2 minutes.
And what kind of video do you do?
So I would do like a property tour, and I just
Okay.
talk about like what it's like to. It would be like no different from being like what it would be like to live in Guatemala,
Uh
right?
huh.
So it'd be like this is the place to eat, and this is like what we do and tradition, and this and that, and like how to. So I talk about all that stuff, but if I were just to talk to you and just have a conversation, you'd just be like, right. But like,
Yeah.
if you had some video behind it, and be
Yeah.
like, this is where we eat, this is what we do, this is custom,
Yeah. No, if you like do like 3 second shots, and you will need a lot of
yeah, a lot of footage.
footage,
Yeah.
and everything has to cut each one of the shots. People doesn't know that, but or realize that every shot has like a connection with the next one.
Right.
So
Yeah. So if I start talking about like best places to eat, and I say these are my top five best
hmm
places to eat, then I have to show those five places, and then I have to have some roll of it. I just can't throw a picture and be like,
hmm
here's a picture of the place. Go eat
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's
Nobody's
no
gonna
fun.
go. Yeah, it's not gonna be very interesting. And then I saw also that you did a lot of work for like National Geographic, BBC, a lot of magazines, a lot of major news organizations. Like, how does somebody get involved in it? Do they like just they go into the forest, they snap some pictures, and they're like, "What do you think of my work?" Or is it
M-
more
well,
detailed than that?
for like I told you at the beginning, I respect like everybody's faith. Like achieving more than 50, like normally like a National Geographic photographer, like the big names, they achieve like 20, 21, 19 stories in their life. And I have done like more than 50 stories like worldwide.
Wow.
And the only thing that I can tell you is like it was not me. It's like God opened the doors and like taking me to his like in his path, like
Mm-hmm.
learning from life and stuff like that. So what it takes, if somebody asks me, that will be because like I am computer scientist. I didn't study for this, and it hasn't been like also easy. But like I once got like I was a computer scientist. I was a hacker, from the good ones,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
good people, the hacking good bad to the bad guys. So I had this like I didn't know nothing about like filming and stuff like that, and I entered into the contest in Facebook. Like Instagram didn't exist on that time. I don't know if you remember that time, but I knew how to cheat, to create like bots, and nobody will know me. And I have a lot of friends of mine who were hackers who can like because it was a contest with voting,
Yeah, yeah.
so you can vote every day and stuff like that. And I was like, I was a Latino, so I thought, okay, if it's voting like as a worldwide contest as a Latino, should have more friends, like statistically, right? We're talking. And the thing is like, but all my friends like, let's do this strategy, whatever. And I said, no, no, because I have this message like from a lady. I went through this like Christian group, and like it was weird. Like she told me, God told me to give you this scripture. Like it was Joshua 1:6, and he says something like this, like work hard, be brave, and don't go to the left or to right from the Moses law, so don't lie and stuff like that, and you will succeed.
Huh.
And then I like 2 weeks later, I turned the radio like just randomly, and I got like the message from a pastor doing the same thing. Like what? And then
Wait
I
a minute,
went
it's
to
the same
the
passage?
same pass, and
Wow.
like 3 weeks later, the same thing. And meanwhile, all my friends like, hey, let's do this, let's do that.
Temptation.
Yeah, temptation a lot. And there were all two guys that were like behind me. One was from Croatia. I had blocked Croatia as a country in my Facebook, and he told me, "Oh, I have talked with the third place. The one this is so exhausting, and if you don't do not do what I say, you are going to have this." Like he was like threatening me. The third the third one was a U.S. person that went into Fox News, you know,
Uh-huh.
and he said, "Vote for me," whatever. And I said, "Man, I'm lost." And then suddenly, they told me that I won. I was in this the contest was to participate in an expedition from Bermuda to Iceland to learn about microplastics
Wow.
for 23 days. And when I was there, they sit me over in the vessel and told me, you know what, you want to know why you are here? We have to hire the best anti-hacker company in California, and you are the only one that didn't cheat. So that's why we're here. And with that thing,
Wow.
I had the content and the opportunity to begin with National Geographic.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah. So
Huh.
like, and like if I told you what happened in the documentary, it's like always is like God doing amazing things to make it real, you know.
That's really, really cool. I've been getting a lot of signs. I know I'm very strong in my Christian belief, and I'm also very spiritual. So with that, I've been getting a lot of signs. I've been seeing a lot of stuff, and sometimes I try to like shut it off, and it finds me. It's just kind of
Really?
like you, yeah. Like, um, like I see a lot of angel numbers all the time, and like a lot of 444, 555, and sometimes it'll startle me. Like the other day, I was showing a home. I sell real estate, and I was showing a home, and I was like, "Yeah, check out the microwave." And the microwave was like way up, taller than me, like, and I'm not very tall. So I pressed the button to open it, and I was kind of like joking with the buyer. I was like, "Well, obviously this is made for somebody taller." And then I look, and it's 444, and I was like, "Hmm." And then I shut the door, and then it like kind of scared me for a second because I've seen it like multiple times. And I've seen 555, and it'll like spirit will make me look at it. It'll be like I'll be doing something and I'll be over here and for no reason I'll turn and look and it's 555.
Well,
Yeah, and it's just I haven't gotten the scripture part yet. And then I've been meeting a lot of people that uh
I mean, it's like very important to get like to read like the scriptures because like Christianity is like just in terms of Christianity, there are like 35,000 variations,
oh yeah.
and there's a lot of people that think they are Christians, but they like create their own version of their God. You know, it's not the one that is like in scriptures. That's
Mhm.
why. So it's very important to to like read and read. Sometimes very difficult, like even for me. But each time that I read, it's like poof, like new revelation. You know,
Something new.
coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that that lady said that to you cuz there's been a lot of times where I believe that God sends angels to help you on your path
Hmm.
and I'm 48 now
Yeah,
and
you're so young, man.
I feel like I'm the one that's helping other people now. Like before it would be, like somebody like yourself, like being like, Chris, you're
Uh,
doing something wrong, or like, Chris, you should be doing something better, or like, here, like, give me a hand doing something. And now it's more of like me doing the opposite. Like I'm the one that's helping.
people.
Um, yeah, it's
Mm.
way different. It's a different feeling too, which I like. And then I talked about this yesterday at lunch. Sorry, I'm going down this deep rabbit hole, but the thing that's really interesting is when you do help somebody, you see their face, and when you help them, and then for me, it's like stitched in my brain. I can't get it out.
Get fixed.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. Um, Talk to me about just some of the amazing things that you've done in terms of just locations, different opportunities to shoot, different things that you've done. Because I'm sure you've done just not only this project, but a lot of the other projects that you've shot.
Yeah, well, I have a well, after finish this expedition from Bermuda to Iceland, I also like saw how like most of the NGOs are corrupt in terms of environmental NGOs.
Hmm.
So, for example, at least in the region of Mesoamerica, like Guatemala and so on, a lot of NGOs are funded by the plastic industry. So they give you this thing about recycling that doesn't really helps. Like more than 90% of the plastic has never been recycled. The industry of of plastic grows into like each year 15%, and the capacity of recycling 0.7%. So
Mm.
it will never get out on there. So there's a lot of like all the these NGOs that they are think they are environmental, talking about recycling. They're just like greenwashing the. So when I finished the we finished the expedition from Bermuda to Iceland, I saw like every 50 nautical miles we were like getting like the microplastics out of the surface, and I was like shocked because on every sample, every 50 nautical miles, we always get a lot of microplastics. So we arrived to Iceland, and I call my wife and I tell her, listen, we have to do something. We create the NGO to tell the truth in a massive way. Funding is a little bit like complicated in the region because it's very difficult to get. So also like last year, we created the same NGO here in the US to get like funding from them. And then we take the documentaries also to the schools with this. We even made another like similar expedition in the Mesoamerican Reef. Is the second biggest reef from the world after Australia. Is in Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. And we made also an expedition of microplastics. We did a documentary called Plastic Spheres in Amazon Prime if you want to look at it. And it was like breathtaking, like seeing a lot of plastic going and how it affects like people in like fishing communities like very far away, and how it affects your body also. And now we took this documentary to more than 70,000 students, policymakers, and like always thinking big. And we are creating a lot of change. And with the documentary that we are like creating now with the Mayan forest in Czech, we are like aiming to do the same thing.
Mm. The plastic stuff is wild, and I think a lot of people really don't realize because I went to the Philippines and I saw like the trash that's over there, and a lot of the trash that's from the Philippines is actually U.S. trash,
Yeah,
and they
they
just
travel the
because
world.
they just ship it there, and
I,
and they pay them, and it's the value of the U.S. dollar is way different from the peso. What is it, the Filipino currency, and uh, it's wild because it's just trash.
yeah, because before it was like exported to China, and China said no more, and then go to Philippines or places like that,
Mm-hmm.
and just like dump sites, like pristine beaches with trash.
Trash. Yeah, it's wild. And then the normal American that's never been outside of the world, outside of the U.S., they just like
But the thing is, like when you are like drinking like a bottle of water, you are drinking like 240,000 nanoparticles of plastic
mm,
per liter.
so
So when you drink it,
uh-huh,
it will like be absorbed in your
bloodstream.
intestine,
Uh-huh.
and then it goes into the bloodstream, and then it will like bioaccumulate in your brain and your liver, like every cells of your body. So
Mm,
when you die, you won't be biodegradable, by the way, but there's like a lot of also like um the mammalian cancer and the prostate cancer, they are also created by consuming a lot of like plastic.
mm.
You
Uh,
eat, I don't know if you know this study that you eat each week like credit cards in terms of microplastic.
wow. What can people do to not eat plastic? That was always my question.
Well, you have to go to markets and you have to use the first thing because I see like U.S. people drinks a lot of water
Mhm.
in like
Plastic.
plastic bottles. It's like you can have a filter. You can have this stainless bottle, you know, not aluminum, but on the stainless. Um, then don't. This is crazy because in the U.S. like everything is packed by plastic, but go to I don't know Whole Foods or whatever where you can get the food without the plastic being wrapped. You know,
Mm.
the product being wrapped by plastic. So avoid. You can look plastic sphere documentary in Amazon Prime. But this is a new also study that I will a new documentary I will recommend you that's now in Netflix. It is called like plastic detox. You will be like your mind will blow.
Mm. I'm gonna look that up because I always found it really difficult. You know, especially if you like live in apartment or something like that. Like, how would you get water that's not contaminated by plastic? And even if you had like a house and you
You
get that
know,
big jug, I mean,
yeah. For example, at least in Guatemala, but I know there was a new like invention in Guatemala. It's called ecofiltro. It's like a filter but made with clay. And it's already here in the U.S. and we use that all of time. Like the water from the tap goes into the there, and then you got the filter, the water filter,
hmm.
and it like keeps also like the living properties of the water, like minerals or stuff like that. That if you use like ozone filters, they will be taken away. Like
Oh.
you drink a little. We call it like a dead water.
I tried like boiling water for a long time. I tried Brita water for a long
It
time.
take a lot of effort.
Yeah, and I got to the point where I was like,
But
I was
go
consuming
back
more water.
go back to the try to do the filter for sure, because if you just imagine how many nanoplastic you are getting into your bloodstream, like I cannot do it any longer with my kids.
Mm. Yeah, I've always wondered that. Uh, the documentary and what's going on. Do you see anything changing in the future, or you're just trying to get more awareness so it could stop?
Well, I think the first thing is to get awareness because nobody, not even in Guatemala, they know what is happening. Everybody thinks like what Tikal is beautiful, a lot of jungle, and nothing's happening. So bringing awareness, this is very important. It will bring a lot of pressure. We are looking forward to like make it this broader.
Hmm.
And we have different projects. Like if what people want to help, they can go to mayanforest.com or rescuetheplanet.org. But mostly for the jungle is in mayanforest.com, and there you will see like different like projects because we want to take this documentary also to the communities that live into the forest and also to the communities that are invading the forest to
Right.
destroy. So because we have to do this, it's very easy to talk about conservation with a full stomach.
Right.
So we are doing creating different projects in order to address different things like wildlife, like people. We are also like creating this movement called Rescue Rangers. They're like for young people. So we train them for a day in a workshop that how to take pictures, like National Geographic, how to connect in the 3 seconds for a TikTok, talk about greenwashing, biodiversity, stuff like that. And when they graduated, then they get missions because they have like these groups, like we say like packs, like wolf packs, and so they will have missions, and the students in the mid of the schools in the jungle, they will be like the protectors of the forest, and they will do like city science with camera traps to see what animals are like
Yeah.
around, and then we will have like a bigger force to stop stuff like what is happening now.
Sergio, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, maybe talk to you more about the documentary or any of the conservation efforts, anything in terms of maybe your history with working with
Yeah.
National Geographic, where would they find you?
Well, yeah, you can follow us in TikTok or Instagram or wherever at Sergio Izquierdo photo. I am with a tiger. You won't miss it. And also, you can follow us in rescuetheplanet.org and all the networks. And please go and visit myandforest.com.
Sergio, I appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
God bless you.